Hey everyone, welcome to the Hollow Voices channel. I'm the Hollow Voice, and today I've got another dark and mysterious story for you. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and share this video with friends who love a good tale. And remember, all the stories you hear here are written by me, carefully crafted to take you into a world full of suspense and mystery. Now, to get the best experience, turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and let yourself be carried away by the sounds and words. Every detail is designed for you to fully immerse in the atmosphere of the story. So sit back, relax, and get lost in the Hollow Voices. My first job, still in my youth, was at a diner just off the edge of a sprawling city. Because of the location, we didn't get many regulars, just travelers passing through. Some were preparing for long road trips, others just arriving. The diner was usually packed, with few empty tables, and that meant work. A lot of it. But I didn't mind. There was something calming about it, serving food, offering smiles, and sometimes getting kindness in return. The tips weren't bad either, especially from customers who knew they'd never see you again. At the time, I was 18. That meant I worked mostly night shifts, from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. I didn't mind the night. Most people were leaving the city around then. But after 2 a.m., that was when the workers of the night came. People from nearby factories, 24-hour warehouses, cleaning crews. That created some interesting conversations. But there was one night I'll never forget. It was past 2 a.m. when he walked in, a tall, broad man with graying hair. His jeans were caked in dirt, or maybe dust, and his t-shirt had dark smudges, like dried mud. His hands were calloused, worn. He sat by the window, always glancing outside, probably watching his car. I approached with the usual polite routine. I poured him a coffee, smiled, and asked what he needed. He looked at me with a cold, still smile and said, in a calm voice, "Good evening. First, could I have a damp cloth to clean my hands? Then, breakfast menu too, please." I nodded with my usual smile, turned, and headed toward the kitchen. But I could feel his eyes on my back until I disappeared behind the counter. Something about him unsettled me. Thankfully, we had a night cook, John, who carried a kind of quiet authority. With him there, I always felt safer, more grounded. Other customers came in, and I went about my work until the bell rang. Someone's food was ready. I grabbed the tray and walked it over to the man's table. He had already cleaned his hands, and part of his face. Now that the dust was gone, he looked paler, tired. I placed the plate on the table and picked up the dirty cloth. That's when I felt it. A strong hand grabbed my forearm. Every inch of my body froze. 2 seconds felt like 20 minutes. Then he spoke. "Please, miss, could I get some more coffee?" His voice was calm, polite. I exhaled. My heart slowed. I nodded and went to refill the pot. I poured him another cup, then made my rounds. Half an hour later, I saw him leave. No words, just a nod of thanks, and as the door shut behind him, it felt like something heavy lifted off my chest. I went to clean the table. The check was there, but in place of a tip were words, "I'll never forget your eyes, nor our first touch." Taped beneath the note was $200. My hands trembled. I didn't know how to feel. Fear, gratitude. The money was real. The handwriting, uneasy. I went straight to John. I told him everything. He just gave a half shrug and said, "Strange customers sometimes leave the best tips. Don't overthink it." I nodded and handed over the dishes, but I had forgotten the cloth. I went back to the counter and dropped it off. That's when I heard John's voice from the kitchen. "Alice, what's this cloth?" I replied casually, "From the man who left the tip." He was a bit dirty, asked for a wet one. Then, silence. John opened the cloth and held it up. My breath caught. It wasn't brown from dirt, it was dark red, caked and dry, mixed with specks of earth. It was blood. My stomach churned. My brain screamed no. My innocence begged maybe not. But every instinct said yes. That was the end of my shift. I went home. I told no one. I slept. The next morning, around 10 a.m., I got a call from my boss. He needed me at the diner, urgently. Something in his voice made my skin crawl. I dressed and rushed over. 2 police cars sat in the lot. My heartbeat thundered in my chest. Inside, 3 officers were speaking with my boss. Strangely, the kitchen was taped off with yellow crime scene tape. The officers spoke in hushed tones about strange events in the area. A missing girl, 19 years old, gone without a trace. As they talked, I stared through the window. A white van with flashing lights pulled into the back of the diner. An ambulance. That's when I realized. The yellow tape, the ambulance out back. And John. John wasn't there. I looked at my boss, eyes wide. Isn't John supposed to be here? Silence. One officer glanced at another, then spoke gently. I'm afraid John was the second known victim of the man we're looking for. Tears fell before I could stop them. John? No, that couldn't be. He was strong, fierce, respected, and now, gone. I went home in shock. I barely remember the drive. When I got to my front porch, I froze. A package was there, large, brown, no return address. On top, scrawled in thick black marker, 200. I stared. My legs trembled. And for reasons I still don't understand, I sat down. I opened it. Inside, a clip with $200, and sealed in plastic, the same diner cloth, but this time, drenched in blood. Soaked. Far more than the night before. I screamed. My father ran out, saw the package, and called the police immediately. I was followed. He knew where I lived. That man had been at my home. I gave the police everything, told them the full story. I cried myself to sleep. The diner stayed closed. The next morning, I woke in silence. No more shifts, no more customers. My mother asked me to take out the trash, a simple, ordinary task. I stepped outside, walked toward the bin, and looked across the street. A house under renovation stood there. A man stood in front carrying wood. He looked right at me, and with a slow, eerie grin, he waved. Then he said, "Enjoy the $400. Thank you for watching this story on Hollow Voices. If you enjoyed the experience, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share this video with someone who enjoys dark and mysterious tales. I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me what kind of stories or themes you'd like to hear next. Your ideas help shape the future of this channel. And once again, thank you for listening. Your presence here means everything. Until next time, stay in the shadows.